So yeah, I'm having another bad hair day today. Obviously, I maybe wanted to rock the Christmas hat again, but you know what? We probably got to mix some things up because you know why? The Devils are on a road trip. My name is Lippy, and this is the Devils Weekly Roundup. All right, so yeah, we have 4 games to talk about today. I'm actually shooting this Sunday night, so if you're part of the Sunday crew, all 2 of you, this episode will probably be coming out on Monday. So the New Jersey Devils played 4 games. It was the Western Canada / Seattle road trip in which they played the Vancouver Canucks, the Seattle Kraken, and then just finished up the weekend here with a back-to-back in Alberta with the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers. So let's talk about the first game, which was versus the Vancouver Canucks. It was the Quinn Bowl, or Hughes Day. Sorry, it was the Hughes Bowl, not or a Hughes Day, whatever you wanted to say. This was the first game in which we got to see Quinn, Jack, and Luke all on the same ice together, and it definitely did not disappoint if you were a fan of offense. In the first period alone, we saw 6 goals, with 4 coming from New Jersey and 2 coming from Vancouver. Devils looked like they were in control. Vitek was maybe looking a little bit like Vitek. He likes to sprawl around a lot. He was giving up some rebounds. And, but the team was playing a very decent team game in front of him. Go to the second period, Devils actually go up 5-2, which is, hey, great. And then the third period comes. And Vancouver is a very good team. Vancouver's in a playoff spot. Vancouver's looking very good this year. Vancouver scores 3 unanswered goals, and we have a tie game at 5-5. And I will full admit, I wasn't watching the third period. I woke up when it was 5-4 Devils around, I think it was maybe around 12:30. And I heard Vancouver tie it up, and then I watched the rest of the game, and, the Devils were able to pull it out. It would have been kind of nice to see the game go to OT, just because it would have been cool to see Jack, Luke, and Quinn on the ice for a 3-on-3. But I will take Bratt, ended the game, I believe it was under 2 minutes, might have been under a minute, and seals the deal for the Devils. Devils pull out a 6-5 win, and this was probably going to be the messiest game of the road trip. I mean, it was a messy start, I would say. But overall, they played a very good team game. I mean, listen, you can't complain. You scored 6 goals, you scored 6 goals. And the goaltending is the goaltending. We really can't, beat that dead horse more. They were even saying in the Vancouver broadcast, Vitek gives up a lot of rebounds, and that was very apparent during this game. He was giving up some very juicy rebounds, and the Canucks have some very talented players, and, they capitalized it. And that's just what it is. But Devils get the 6-5 win, so we were really solid there. So then we move on to Thursday, in which the Devils took on the Seattle Kraken. This is obviously the second year in a row that we've been facing them. This is Seattle's, third year. It's the third year that the Devils have been facing the Kraken. And overall, this was another one where I watched the first period, and Devils were up 1-0. It was looking really good. We saw Andre Palat got his first goal late in the first period, which looked really good. And then when we got into the second, the Kraken were able to tie it up. But then Simon Nemec comes through, and he scores his first NHL goal. It was a very good play from him. It was a very good pass from Bratt as well to set him up. And then basically the Devils got hemmed in for the rest of the game. When you look at the shot totals, it was the Kraken had 38 and the New Jersey Devils had 17. I can't remember the last time the Devils had under 20 shots. But overall, this was a very good team game. They played very good in front of their goalie. This was Akira Schmidt for this game. And it was definitely very, very tight at the end. Like, literally the horn buzzed as Seattle was basically about to put it in and tie the game. And overall, it was a win. It was a good team win. Devils get 2-1. That's exactly what they need. They're 2-0 on the road trip. This is great. At minimum, on these type of road trips, you want to at least get 50% of potential points, and the Devils have accomplished that in the first 2 games. So, Devils get a day off, and then we head to Calgary for a back-to-back in which they would face the Flames first, and then they would then face the Edmonton Oilers. And this game was just a combination of current and former Devils scoring goals. For this game, the Devils did go with Vitek, and The goals that he gave up, I will say the first goal, there's nothing he can do about that one. First goal was scored by, tell me if you heard this name before, Yegor Sharangovich. And it was assisted by Blake Coleman. Yegor got a breakaway. It was just a broken down play, and he finished with a very good backhander. There's not much, Vitek can do about that. It was the Devils, giving up the first goal again, which, is kind of the trend this year. The Devils have been playing behind a lot. But the Devils get a little bit of luck with the Devils scoring the second goal, which was Nico. It was challenged for goaltender interference, which Nico, get that correct. Nico bumped into the goalie. I believe it was Wolf. But Blake Coleman coming through for the Devils, he pulled down Nico, which caused him to then crash into his own goalie, which then led to the goal, which I think was Coleman shooting the puck and it went off Bratt and went in. I do not know. That might have been actually the second goal. The first goal was a very good pass from Bratt to Nico on a breakdown. On the forecheck. No, not the forecheck isn't even. It was a fast break. That is the word I wanted to look for. It was a fast break that was that Nico goal. And then the goal with the goaltender interference was the Jesper Bratt goal. Coleman pulled down Nico. Nico crashes into goalie. Coleman goes to clear the puck, deflects off Bratt, and goes in. And then we head to the third period. Devils go up 3-1 with a goal from Alexander Holtz. And then it's 3-2 with Kadri tying the game. And it's just looking like, okay, Vitek is in net. And, the one thing with these videos, I never want to be overly critical about a player. I will give maybe some constructive criticism about what I see, but I'm never going to sit here, get angry, and go on a rant about why a certain player is not playing well. It's just not who I am. Having said all that, I'm not going on a rant. Vitek hasn't looked his best. He has been getting up some rebounds. He's playing almost kind of like a fish flopping. He's very athletic, but sometimes that athleticism gets him out of position, which then leads to teams being able to get back in. And Calgary almost did at this point. It was 3-2. There was still plenty of time left. Calgary was pushing. They pulled the goalie. And luckily the Devils were able to get that empty net goal from Nico, and they win the game 4-2. So, what has looked really positive for these first three games, I will say from what I saw when I wasn't sleeping, was the team play. The team play looked really good. They weren't giving up as many chances. This was mainly for the Seattle and the Calgary game. And the goalies made some timely saves. Obviously, the Vancouver game was a little Wild West, but, you're going to get games like that, especially when you have two teams that are very good and play kind of similar systems, which then leads into tonight's game, this game versus the Edmonton Oilers to close out the road trip, in which the Devils lose 4-1. They got some help from the refs. I would say the refs were right with both calls for goaltender interference. The first one was very much goaltender interference, not Nazem Kadri. Evander Kane was standing in the crease when Schmidt tried to get back in. That's 100%. And then the second goal that got called off for the Oilers, they were pushing his arm in, which caused the puck to go in. Yeah, those were right. But I do have to say Edmonton was the better team. The Devils have not been very good. I think coming into back-to-back games, they are 1-3-1. They're now 1-4-1 after today. And give full credit to the Edmonton Oilers. They played a very good team game. They play a type of game that's very similar to the Devils. It's basically try to force you to get out of the defensive zone and then kill you on a counterattack. And today, Edmonton played that game much better than the New Jersey Devils. They were in the lanes blocking shots. As soon as they blocked a shot, they were up the ice. And they got a lot of fast breaks out of that. And the Devils definitely looked a little bit slower than them. And overall, it's just Edmonton you had to be quick with your decision making versus Edmonton today. And the Devils just weren't. Case in point, that third goal, there was a breakdown in communication between Schmidt and his defenders because Schmidt should not be defending the puck from someone forechecking behind the net. I mean, that was probably Connor McDavid's easiest goal that he will ever score in his career because he had no goalie and it went right out to the front of the net to him. I don't know if Kira probably should have moved the puck sooner, but then why isn't Marino maybe coming over to help him? It was a breakdown. and it led to a very easy tap-in goal for Connor McDavid. And the Devils finished the Western Canada road trip with a regulation loss, 4-1. So overall, Devils get 6 out of 8 points, which is great. We take those. I will say the team is definitely trending in the right direction after this road trip. I will be curious to see what happens because they do have a couple days off. They're probably going to fly back tonight, I imagine. So then they'll have Monday and Tuesday, and then we get into the schedule next week, in which they play 2 games. They have the Boston Bruins on Wednesday night, and then Saturday will be the start of a away and home back-to-back for them, in which they will be in Columbus on Saturday night, and then Sunday they will face the Anaheim Ducks at home. So this will be interesting because the Devils historically have never been really good when they come back from these Western trips. So hopefully they can have it together because Boston will obviously be a very tough test for them. The question is, maybe, do we see some changes? We're halfway through the month of December, and the Devils are currently 3-2 on the month. And if I am correct with looking at the standings, they should be maybe 2 points out of the wild card. I'm going to confirm that. They're 2 points out of the wild card with 3 games at hand on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the only team that is standing between them and that is the Washington Capitals. So the Devils are back in the wild card hunt, which is great. But also when you look at the rest of the Metro, it is an absolute bloodbath. The Rangers are on top. They're up 5 points on the place in second. But when we look at the Flyers, who are in second place, and the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are in 8th, they are separated by 9 points. You have 7 teams that have a 9-point gap between them. It is close. It is going to be close. The question is, when are certain teams going to fall off? Do the Flyers have the steam to keep this going for the rest of the season? They are playing very well. They are on a 4-game win streak right now. Sean Couturier is playing very well. Torts is a very good coach at getting teams to get the best out of them, to get that 100%. But can that continue for the whole entire rest of the season? Are the Islanders going to keep this up? Is the Capitals going to keep this up? There are certain teams that you're kind of expecting to fall back down to earth. And then the question is, can the Devils capitalize on that? They're in it. From where they were at the start of this month to where they are now, the Devils are back in this wild card hunt. Do not get it twisted. They are looking better, and they're making that push. This next, we keep saying it, each week is important. These next 3 games are very, very important for the Devils, especially that back-to-back. Columbus and Anaheim should be wins, but you never know, especially when it's back-to-backs. That Boston game, if you can win it, then if you lose one of these back-to-back games in the weekend, it's not so bad. And then you head into a homestand. Then you get 4 more games at home, and then you close out the year with a back-to-back home and away. Jesus. So I will say the Devils have looked very good. They're positive for the month. Maybe we'll see some changes this week because it's going to then pick up and be busy for the rest of the year. But yeah, that is my thoughts. So thank you once again for watching. Really appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me for daily content, you can follow me on these social medias right here. But my name is Lippy, and I will see you next time.